now I'm going to pass it to Brian.
Thank you, Jay.
He knows better than me.
I got the script right in front of me. It's fine. So basically, as art director, my job is to kind of help our creative artists take all that information that Jay and Leonard just went through, with the story, the background, what we're trying to accomplish with the gameplay design, and really bring that to visual life. You know, that's kind of our job. So, you know, when Jay was talking about awesome action and things like that, it's our job to actually make that visually appealing and actually happen. So in order to do that for Diablo 3, one of the main things that we wanted to do was actually start back at the beginning and really take a good hard look at what this franchise was all about and what made it such a classic gameplay experience. So we started with the original Diablo, and you can see the 3 original classes up there. And we took a look at some of our early concept designs for that and kind of defined what made those awesome at the time and why they became kind of a timeless set of characters. And what you can't really see on these concepts here, but one interesting thing that we were noticing when we were analyzing these old drawings and the old characters and stuff was just the dark nature with which they were created. A lot of their armor is very sharp. There's a lot of history to them. In fact, the wizard in this example, if I had the full sketch up there, you could see that his feet are actually pierced with very large bones. And that's really what kind of inspired us when we were talking about how we wanted to approach our hero classes moving forward. Was, you know, what kind of a world do you live in where you pierce the bottom of your feet? That's got to be the most harsh, engaging world that you could possibly imagine to live in. But that's the world that our hero classes were kind of existing in. And the other thing you start to wonder about is, well, what kind of a background does a guy like that have? You know, I mean, they look a little bit sketchy, you know, like a rogue. You know, the wizard doesn't look too happy. These guys live in a sort of a morally gray area, and that's really something that inspiration-wise, we kind of latched onto as a character team. So moving forward into Diablo 2, again, we kind of took those more mature themes in the character realm. Here are the hero classes you can see. And in Diablo 2, we kind of expanded on that. So with the Diablo 1 heroes, you know, we had some morally gray characters. Well, in Diablo 2, what you see with the Necromancer and the Assassin, I mean, those names right there are downright mean. I mean, in some cases, those could actually be enemies in a game, not just a hero class. And so that's really what we loved to think about was, you know what, this universe is extremely harsh. This is a place that if you're walking down the street, you have the chance to run into a demon or a character or a creature that could kill you at any instant. What kind of a hero is going to exist in those worlds? So from a philosophical standpoint, that's where we started. Kind of, that's the inspiration that we wanted to start with, was just that dark overtone of the universe. So that brings us to kind of how we approached the Diablo 3 design. You can see we have some concepts of the barbarian. And this is actually the barbarian from the Diablo 2 universe. He's the same character. And you can see that we're keeping a lot of those same philosophies. The sharp armor, I mean, if this guy moves in the wrong way, he's going to impale himself, you know, but that's just extra protection for the harsh environment that these guys live in. You know, this is just the day-to-day life that these guys have to lead. So talking about the barbarian specifically and updating a classic, you know, this was really exciting for us. This was an opportunity to take just a classic character that we all love to play and just bring him back to life. You know, I mean, what's this dude been up to for the last 20 years? As Leonard was saying, this guy's 8 feet tall, 300 pounds of pure muscle. You know, and he saw some stuff in Diablo 2 that, you know, would kill most people. So, you know, giving him a little bit of age, kind of graying his hair down, making him look a little more matted. And then he's got these big gnarly scars on him and all sorts of craziness going on like that. So for us, when we were talking with Leonard and what Jay wanted to accomplish from the design side, we kind of pulled all that stuff together with, you know, what we wanted to accomplish by selling the story visually. And it's those scars, it's that gray hair, it's how that armor, you know, kind of lands on his body, things like that, that really help us tell the story visually. And then the Witch Doctor. So this is our brand new class that we're really excited to announce here. And for Diablo 3, you know, like I was saying, the heroes are a little bit of a morally gray kind of area from a visual standpoint. We wanted them to be that guy that you're not quite sure if you like him or not. You're not quite sure if he's a happy guy, if he's nice or whatever. So the witch doctor for us is really where we went to town. Like, this guy is basically just a grizzled old, vet. He's been out there. He's been through so many battles. He is just an old man. He's hunched over. He is a great example of a contrast to the barbarian. He's old and frail. This guy is not going to go out there and start smashing dudes over the head with a hammer. What this guy is all about, he's learned the tricks. He's been there. He's been hit in the head. He knows he doesn't like it. So what he does is he goes out there and he says, hey man, I'm just going to mess with their heads from now on. And he starts throwing powders in their face. He starts messing with people's minds so they fight against each other. He summons zombie hordes to fight for himself. And so when we approach this guy, I mean, what kind of a character do you have to be in order to summon a wall of zombies for you? Like, that's what we want. Like, that's his driving force is, I'm protected by the undead, right? But he needed to be different enough from the old classes in, like, the Necromancer from Diablo 2 and give him a fresh take. So visually, he's much more stunning. He's just this big, vibrant plumes of feathers to scare off his enemies. His face mask is designed in a way to actually be very dark and brooding looking. Even though he's this frail old man underneath, when you see him for the first time, he actually presents this massive kind of structure in front of you because of the extra plumage on his face mask, because of the dark look on the face of the mask. And that's really kind of what he's all about, is just messing with your mind so that he doesn't get hit physically.
All right. Thank you, Brian. One of the things we decided to do in Diablo 3 that's different from, a little bit different from Diablo 2 and the first Diablo game, is we expanded their voice. And in the first two games, they had limited voice. They would tell you when your inventory is full. They might comment on a situation or, say, rest in peace when they put a soul down. But since we were going with very specific individuals with specific personalities, we felt that the best way to represent that was to define them through their voices, to give them very identifiable voices that really kind of drive who they are as characters. And that helps reinforce their personalities and can change over their character arc as well, is another aid to helping us tell the story. Now, and another thing you saw in the demo yesterday was that we have a new conversation system. In the previous games, it was all monologues. And our little equation here is conversations are better than monologues, and monologues are longer. Even if it's the same number of words, a monologue can feel twice as long. It's not the best way to get information to have somebody just talk at you. It's a much quicker, easier, more entertaining device to have a conversation where your character comes to the table knowing certain things maybe the player doesn't know, but things that can be revealed through a conversation. It's much more interesting. It gives you a sense of discovering things as a player. We can also give your player a history your character a history that the player doesn't necessarily have to know about, that can be discovered throughout the game. This way, we can create backgrounds for your characters. Characters from your people from your character's past can come back to haunt him. We can bring in class quests that could be very interesting. Each class will have different views of the story, which will be played out through these conversations, and it just basically makes it more interesting. I think the bottom line beyond all this is it really gives us a way to put the hero that you're playing at the center of the story. Your hero can drive the story as opposed to being an errand boy. You can decide what is the best thing to do. The villagers can be cowardly and not say, you need to go fight this. You could suggest, we need to go fight this. We need to do this. I need to take this situation under control because no one else can take care of it. It really puts you at the center of the action and gives you a decisive role in that. And I think that's what's going to make the character more of a hero feel. And with that, we go to Jay Wilson, I believe.
Well, that would be me.